right, as promised, we continue. It is a Laker Monday, Slee.
Yes,
it is
sir.
Lakers Media Day here at the UCLA Health Center. We've got banners, we've got trophies, and we've got Juan Toscano-Anderson joining us here on the Travis and Sliwa Show. Juan, take us through it. What's it like your first media day as a Los Angeles Laker?
Oh, it's amazing. I love the vibe here. The first day I got to L.A. and came in this building, I said the lights just shine a little brighter here. It's a beautiful place. Like you mentioned, the banners, the trophies, can't beat it when you want to play at a high level, and this is what you live for, to be a part of an organization like this.
So you're coming off an NBA championship, and, you kind of start looking at franchises, and I'm sure there's a lot that goes into winning a chip. And it's not just you got these great players, but there's chemistry. I'm sure it's got a lot to do with it. What do you take away from your time with the Warriors that you think was most important, that from a championship quality roster and a team, what do you take away that you think you could bring to the table here?
You know what? I think the most important thing, there's a lot of things that we could talk about, but I think the most important thing is the camaraderie they have there. Obviously, that situation is an anomaly because it's not very often where you get players who've come in the league together and played 10 years together. And it's hard to recreate those things because all of that is organic, but it's not impossible to recreate. So I think the most important thing here is us building camaraderie, being a part of, a team atmosphere, creating a fabric that's, that you can't tear. And I think that's the most important part. Basketball stuff, all that stuff matters, of course. But like I said, I just think the camaraderie is the main component to all of that.
Juan, how do you juice that? How do you make that fabric, that team, that camaraderie, whatever it is, how do you accelerate it? Because you got a lot of new faces on this team. Obviously, you got LeBron James and Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, some guys that are going to walk into the Hall of Fame. So you got a good starting point, but there's a lot of new guys that have just got here. How do you accelerate the process of creating those bonds?
I don't think you can accelerate it. I just think it happens organically, and I think for me what I would say is just be authentic. Everyone needs to come in every day, be authentic, be their true selves, and compete. That's how you create respect in this business on the floor. That's how you gain respect is competing, playing hard, winning, and gaining the respect of, our unicorns, LeBron, AD, Russ, vets, Pat, guys who've done this for a long time. I mean, they've been everywhere. They've seen all this stuff, so they know what they're doing. Just be ourselves, compete, and play hard.
Sounds like there's going to be a lot of competition. Darvin Ham, we're talking to him, coach, and he was mentioning that that's part of what's great about training camp and preseason is the open competition. Yeah. What do you feel like you'll be able to bring to the Lakers, and what areas of your game do you think will shine?
For sure, toughness. I'm a tough, gritty player, and versatility. I can guard multiple positions, pretty much every position on the floor. I can, play every position on the floor offensively. Obviously, I know there are things I have to improve on as a basketball player, but, we all do. But, just being myself, bringing it every night. I put my hard hat on every day because I'm super, thankful for having an opportunity to have a job in this league. I mean, it's the best job in the world. So I leave my heart out on that floor every night, and I'm going to give my team life. I don't really talk about basketball stuff too much because some days I'm going to miss shots. Some days I'm going to turn the ball over. Some days I'm going to be a bad basketball player. Some days I'm going to be a great basketball player. But one thing I can guarantee that, fans and, everybody else within the Lakers organization can get from me is that I'm going to come to work every single day.
Juan Toscano-Anderson joining us here on the Travis and Sliwa Show. Like Alan mentioned, you spent the last couple of years in Golden State with the Warriors. Darvin Ham, first-year head coach here with the Lakers. The limited time that you've gotten to spend with him, obviously you'll get a better feel for this as the season gets a little bit deeper, but just kind of the differences in approach from one organization to another, from one head coach like Steve Kerr to a new head coach in Darvin Ham.
Yeah. I think it's hard to compare the two just because everyone's different and also, the limited time I've had here, but I just love his presence, his physical stature, obviously, but
pretty big guy.
Yeah, I mean, his energy, his demeanor. I mean, it gives you confidence to go out there and compete because it's like, I got my coach here too. He's played in this league. He's competed in this league. Everything that he preaches, like you can go watch him do it on film, and so. Everybody's new, still trying to find their way, so I don't want to, throw out any comparisons just yet. But I love the energy here, the vibe here. Everyone's pretty confident, and I think we got some pieces to, make a great concoction.
How big is that, by the way? Just having a coach that used to play in the league. Is that something that a lot of guys look at? Or does that not matter? I'm just curious. Just those experience, is it able to pass on to the players?
Well, for me, of course, I think it matters, and that's my own personal opinion.
Yeah.
But I've played overseas. I've played in the G League, played here in the NBA, and some coaches, and I've been lucky to have some great coaches, but some coaches, they can't connect with you as a player because they don't know what it feels like to play off a back-to-back and then have practice the next day, or, take a loss that kills your morale. And it's kind of like, how do I motivate my players again? And, or, hey, my player's having a bad day. He missed 13 shots in a row. How do I get him back, rolling? It's kind of like those things you only know if you really played the game. Or let me retract that statement. You don't only know them, but you know them better. You have a better gauge of that, And I think it's easier for coaches to resonate with players when they've played the game.
You've played with a couple. You're going to play with LeBron James, who's arguably the greatest player of all time. You played with Steph Curry, who's on the short list of some of the greatest players of all time. Do you notice some similarities between those guys? Not necessarily basketball similarities, but just similarities in the way that they lead, similarities in the way that they approach their craft, similarities to not just become a great basketball player, but the face of a franchise, the face of a league.
Yeah. In my short time here so far, one thing I've noticed about Bron is he's always the first one in the gym. And I think that says a lot. Like when I was in Golden State, Steph was usually the first one in there and the last one to leave. He was there the longest of everyone. And you just watch how they approach their craft. They take care of their bodies. They lift every day. They work on their game every day. And it's just their aura, the way they carry themselves. They're not great by accident. And so those are the similarities I've seen so far in my short time.
Juan, we hope you have a great, successful season. I know every Laker fan does, but we appreciate you taking the time.
I appreciate you guys having me. I'm excited to be a Laker, so thank you.
Thank you,
got it, Juan.
Thank you.
I love hearing that. I'm excited to be a Laker there because there's something to look. We're in the bag. I'm from LA. Grew up a Laker fan. Showtime Lakers were my team and all that stuff. So it means something to me. I always love it when I hear somebody else say it means something to them, right? And especially, look, he was on the Warriors, for goodness sake. It's not like you were just kind of knocking around the league. He was a championship player last season with the Golden State Warriors. But to hear I'm excited to be a Laker, that kind of lands a certain way.